So, what do you guys remember from last time?
We jumped in the toilet.
That's right.
So
Before that, we dressed Evie like a
oh yeah.
We get the midpoint to Pale Brick
Oh yeah.
and find everyone asleep at the tavern inn thing.
everybody except for the animal.
They were like magically sleeping. How did we wake them up?
Lay on hands.
Oh, you did lay on.
But then some people also started waking up. Right?
Yeah, that is just some more started. Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to chase these characters.
Right. Yeah, they used hair as rope.
They were dragging.
Somebody was kidnapped. Yeah, they kidnapped someone from the upstairs.
Right. We had to do like a running thing. Someone like bolted. We had to go chase after them. Yep. And Marsic didn't want to go. That was not.
Alina took a deep breath and jumped in as her.
They're leopard.
And then Calem went after discussing it for a while.
And thankfully did not get blown up.
Yes.
Right.
Then Marsic went back to just like, wait, what?
I threw a torch down to him.
Yeah. And Marsic went back into the tavern. Stop the people.
Yep. And keep an eye on Verba. Right.
Little
You're
murder
not
machine.
the ethics of. I was gonna say ethnicity, but that's not the right word. The ethics of Burbot's existence.
Yeah.
Lingering on.
Oh, I was missing when Calem got down. Wasn't there?
Yes.
Maybe it was the people.
Please.
Oh yeah.
Air.
Oh, look at that. There were 3 people because there were 6 eyes looking back at us from the. I keep wanting to call it a latrine, but it's the outhouse.
Big community.
Oh yeah, we couldn't find you. Alina, you went like down, and then once we got down there, we couldn't find you. We were like vanished.
So yeah, we're gonna start with the ones who jumped into the toilet. Follow after Alina. Yeah, it was Zharra, Calem. Yeah, just Zharra and Calem. Is there anything you guys want to go ahead and make sure that you say that you are doing, or what the plan is, or anything like that?
I'm just chatting up people.
Okay.
Oh, I'll get more. I'll think of something more specific.
Is there anything in particular you want to do, Calem? Like as a team, or?
Find Alina!
Yes, it's kind of the obvious.
Fair enough.
I agree, because it's mysterious that she's
Not fall over.
not sink into the abyss of nasty.
The abyss of nasty. Yeah. So yeah, the two of you drop into the bottom of the latrine. It smells awful. Zharra was fine, I believe, but Calem is struggling a little bit with the smell. Very pungent. But you, with the torch lit, you can see there is a small tunnel in the side wall of the latrine that kind of just vanishes into the darkness. It's a little tight. Thankfully, both of you are relatively short, so it's not horribly tight. The tunnel is, it's just in the wall. It looks like if you were to go through it, you would probably be going in the general direction of back toward the end.
Can I do a perception check just to kind of see if I see anything else or any evidence of people we're pursuing?
Yes?
Calem will just kind of raise his torch to see if they can assist that way.
Cool. I'll give her a +2.
That's a 30 then.
Nice. So looking through, there are no physical tracks of any kind, like from footsteps, but you do notice there's pretty much a trough that was probably carved in the mud, shall we call it, by the person that they were dragging behind them.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that person.
You do also notice, just very faintly, since you are not overwhelmed by the stench, there
Okay.
is a slight hint of maybe burnt hair coming out of the tunnel. Very slight. You can just barely notice it above the smell of poop.
I'd recommend we go through the tunnel. Calem, if you're amenable.
I think your only way is forward. I agree.
Since you have the torch, would you like to take the lead? You still have the torch?
Sure. Yeah.
Did okay. Right, yeah, I dropped it.
Yeah, you guys head into the tunnel. When you cross into the tunnel, it immediately gets significantly cooler. The smell fades pretty quickly as well. And Zharra, being raised with dwarves, you can tell that this tunnel was carved relatively recently. Not like yesterday recently, but within the past few weeks, probably. It still has that freshly dug earth scent. Whoever dug it seems to have done a fairly sloppy job of it. It kind of almost looks like it was just dug by hand, or maybe by a dog or something. It has that kind of look to it. It doesn't look finely crafted. And the tunnel kind of just like winds into the distance. Calem, how tall are you again?
5'8".
5'8"? Okay. So you have to kind of hunch a bit to get through. Zharra's pretty much fine, but yeah, so you have to hunch a bit. You guys walk for a good 15-20 minutes, just winding through this cave before you see on the ground, the cave kind of widens out, and you can see 4 short, stocky creatures, vaguely humanoid. Their skin in the firelight looks almost like stone. Kind of has a stone consistency to it. And they have their hair is these long dreadlocks that go pretty much all the way down to their feet. They're almost as tall as Zharra, but a lot bigger. It gives them kind of a weird proportion. And they have very big eyes on their head. And they are all dead, at least as far as you can tell. They look like they have been burnt to a crisp. Their hair is singed, and that seems to be the source of the burning smell.
Lovely.
Must be fairly recent.
Uh,
Can I make a check to see how recent?
Yeah, this will be medicine.
how to do that?
Your most skillful thing.
That's right. 15. Oh, wait, and you're helping me?
Yeah.
Oh, I am sickened 1, though, unless that has gone away.
Actually, yeah, that would be gone now.
15 plus whatever bonus from Zharra helping.
You can, a quick examination shows you that it is pretty recent. Maybe 10 minutes ago, at most. There are lines on their body that look like, it looks like electricity went through them. That face.
No, zaps people.
And it's still warm.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's still warm from being burned.
Is there a leopard lying around?
There is not. You don't see a leopard.
All of them are dead, you said?
They are all dead. Yeah. And the amount, it literally looks like they got struck by like an actual gigantic bolt of lightning. It's like one big bolt through all 4.
Is there anything else or anybody else like that is nearby? Or I guess evidence of anybody? Because if they took somebody, there's theoretically a prisoner who is now free and loose.
You're looking for more of them?
Well, either looking for more of them or like the person they had taken.
Oh, I got you. The trough that's been skidding along the ground. Now it's more of just like skid marks in the dirt at the bottom. Because this is dirt, it's not stone. The skid marks on the ground where the dirt has been ruffled from someone being dragged do continue on.
So they reckon either more of them? I'll turn to Calem. I don't see the person they took, if they took someone, and I don't see Alina. Could there be more of them, do you think?
There's a possibility, though I don't know why they would kill their own.
Oh no, I think Alina definitely killed these ones. There's Zach.
That does seem most likely. We
I
think
mean, unless
she could drag the person. So I guess she could drag her in, drag it in like bear form or something. So I guess
Well,
I
but
think our only.
can she rapid change, or is that a new?
I don't honestly know.
I've never asked her actually. I always thought she could just do it, and then it's for a certain amount of time. Then she has to not rest, but like go back to being a human and then pop out again to something else. Don't know.
I do not know how druids work.
They're cool.
They do their own thing, which I would have expected her. Well, actually, I was going to say I would have liked for her to stay, but I do not think we can accept that. I think we can only go forward.
Yeah.
Calem will kind of look around, and I take it forward as the only way to go.
Yeah, this is a this. There are no branches to this tunnel at all. This is a very singular purpose tunnel. Yeah, no branches or anything.
Straightforward, less guesswork for us.
Yeah.
We know what these creatures are. Maybe that would be the.
You can make a nature check.
That would be.
Yes, the thing that I'm great at.
Mm-hmm.
Nature.
I know you're both
yeah.
very good at knowing what things are in this context.
Ooh, especially with that roll.
Can also make the
15
roll.
again.
Wait,
Nature is better than I expected.
That's good.
can I do a death check to confirm it was Alina? Killed them.
Yeah. Go ahead and make this will be medicine.
This is medicine.
Yes. You can add +2.
Medicine? 27.
7?
27.
27, that makes more sense.
Well, it's fine. I don't want to jinx it, but, like, the ice tree is on point. I'm not really doubting that it was her, but I just want to be like, yeah. Confirmation.
Looking at the body over. Alright, the music just got really chaotic. So you reach out to try to discern the cause of death. Are you doing this, just to be clear, are you doing this as a natural, like, with your natural senses and knowledge, just knowing that you're a little more attuned to this, you get a better understanding? Or are you trying to reach out supernaturally?
My general idea is that I'm reaching out to see if I can connect to their last moments, even though I know I don't necessarily have that direct tie to them with my... Is it the vice or the gift that gives me? I was trying to remember if it was the vice or the gift that gives me the...
It's the gift. Your gift is that you're good at discerning. You're good at understanding things about things.
Yes.
I think the vice is you're not very good at keeping people in line. Is the short version.
I took medicine because I'm trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, so you're reaching out supernaturally or naturally?
I would say more supernaturally versus using my like natural senses. It's kind of like, I don't want to say using my third eye, but kind of that general like, okay, the extra sense that I have. Like, it's like a supernatural. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a message.
Yeah. I like getting messages. It's
Thor.
So I think generally speaking, Zharra would like experience this. Have you ever seen Wednesday? The show Wednesday.
Yes.
Parts of it.
Okay. You know when she gets the vision, she like her head snaps back?
Mm.
It would be a little like that. Is the general sense whenever Zharra does one of these things. Once I kinda like come back up, I'll be like, okay, yes it was lightning, but they were cold beforehand. Like water, and they were very scared.
Oh,
And
something
then
a clarifying thing I realized was unclear. The
Yes.
cold was separate. That was a separate thing. That was not related to the vision itself.
oh, that was
That
my
was a
sense.
precursor to the vision.
Okay.
Just
So they felt cold to begin with.
the cold was not part of them at all. That was just you.
I'm cold.
Your hand was briefly.
Good clarification. Never mind. They were terrified. And then then there was lightning and a lot of pain and then nothing. So, yes to lightning getting them, and they were scared. Which I'm thinking either Alina surprised them or something else scared them.
I agree. Based on what you're telling me. I don't think that gives us much information one way or the other. I know I would be rather surprised to be chased down by a leopard and then shot by lightning by said leopard. That would be very terrifying.
So you have to draw that.
Out of its mouth.
This is coming from Calem's mind.
Just like Calem like this, and there's a thought bubble with like Alina as a leopard firing lightning like Emperor Palpatine.
Yes. Oh my god. Yes. I would agree with your consensus, and I think we should keep moving because the further they walk, the further away they are from us.
Have you seen any paw prints around? And then can I make a tracking check? See if
Yeah,
I can
make a survival check.
see if I can survival.
There were skin marks. There were skin marks.
Yeah, that was what gave me the idea.
Yeah. Continuing to be dragged, but I don't know if there was any. I didn't say any paw prints personally.
Holy cow. That is the third 15.
15
That's
again.
apparently my number tonight.
Wow.
Your
Okay.
dice set to 15.
Okay. Looking around, it takes you a minute, but you do find some tracks. Specifically, you find leopard tracks. More scuff marks that look like they could be from leopard claws, and they are behind you. They would be facing toward where you are now. You don't see any more leopard paw prints. They seem to stop
Wait.
here.
Feet prints? Boot prints?
You don't see any, but it's also this ground is a lot tougher. It's not mud anymore, and you know that Alina. Actually, does Alina go barefoot? You're a druid. Okay, yeah, Alina goes barefoot. She has a pretty light step.
I have jury questions for you later. But just by curiosity. It's fine. When you transform back.
Onward.
Yes, onward.
Guys, head onward. So you guys head onward into the dark. Marsic.
Yes.
So Marsic, let's all go to Cauldron now, since Marsic is actually in a place we have a map for. And I will have to resize things. It's Sam twice.
So,
Marsic, you are currently in the tavern. Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Well,
You're currently in the tavern.
Oh, yes,
You
I
said
am.
yes, I am.
Yeah, it's on the tap.
So looking around, the others have started to wake up. Yeah, everyone's started to wake up, including the barkeepers. You hear some ruckus coming from around the corners, and basically everywhere on this floor, people seem to be waking up a little bit confused. I just realized the people in the bathroom are going to be extremely confused. So, what is Marsic doing as everyone else is kind of waking up? The three people next to you are awake, because those are the ones that you guys woke up earlier.
We've been chatting, and they have been regaling me with stories of their various jobs and difficulties, and I've been vibing back with my own. Oh, but let me tell you, the time I was over here doing this, and it was crazy. I'm just exchanging stories and like
Mm-hmm.
social funness of that. Nothing stands out as particularly problematic or distracting my attention in general, other than just enjoying the company.
You can choose between diplomacy, performance, or society check.
I can choose between diplomacy, performance, or society. Oh, I could have used the tower. I'm going to take that roll though, because I did roll it. Because that comes out to a 27.
Nice. So they are just enthralled. As they, like, a lot of the people are still kind of groggy. Before long, the whole tavern is just kind of listening to you as kind of like a reverse bedtime story as they're all waking up. And by the time you're done regaling them of your various adventures, it literally turns from a chat into a story time with Marsic.
Yay!
And there's a bit of a hey, and the barkeeper walks up. barkeeper walks up. Her name is Lily, and she goes, she introduces herself. She goes, "Hi, I'm Lily. Welcome to the Midway Tavern. Who are you? Obviously I know some stuff about you, but what brings you here? Can I help you with anything? Do you need a room?"
Well, it might be most helpful if you get some information, actually. I walked in here with a group of friends. By the way, have you seen a human with armor and a devil-looking person who's kind of short, and a person who can sparkle lightning and turn into a bear? Have you seen anybody like that recently? I'm not sure where they got off to.
That's a lovely
Guy,
description.
did you mention them in your story out of curiosity? Or were you talking about your own adventures?
Yeah, I would have gone back across some of, and they dropped me over the waterfall with a rope, and before I knew it, I was in the water, and they were praising me as the chosen one. I tell you, it was the greatest thing. Bottom tooth a nail under the water. Got my rapier out.
Yeah, she goes, "Hey, we haven't seen your friends. We've been asleep. You probably noticed. Still trying to figure that one out. It's a little weird."
Yeah, what I was going to ask about was, why were you all asleep?
We, you can see that, like, the entire tavern shifts, like, even more shifts their attention to you. And she goes, "Do you mind if we talk in the back? We'll explain things to everybody once we've figured out exactly what's going on." And as that's happening, by the way, the other barkeeper walks up to you, and he just kind of like, he's this kind of like rough-looking guy, and he walks up, kind of grunts, and slips a drink in front of you, and then walks away. And then as she says that, he turns to everybody else and says, "Free drinks on the house. Just one round. Don't get carried away." And you hear people kind of go, "Okay, fine." And she waves you into the back. Would you like to follow?
Mm-hmm. Can I get an intuition of if my spidey sense is tingling or not?
Go for it. Yeah. This will be society. Yeah, monkey senses. Yeah.
Well, the society? Then that'll be a 17.
She seems mostly like she just doesn't want to be generating rumors. You get the impression of, like, this is more of a business conversation, so she doesn't want to do it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. You don't feel like she's leading you into any kind of trap or anything like that. Yeah, it definitely just feels like she's got a lot of eyes on her right now, and she doesn't really want to have this conversation in that scenario. So yeah, the two of you go to the back. So there's another room over here. Pulls you into this room, and then into a hallway, and then into the kitchen. I say she pulls you. She leads you into the kitchen. You can see the cooks are waking up. There are 3 cooks, and they look very confused. And the lead cook is quietly commanding the 2 assistant cooks to, like, get back to work. It also looks like they just put out a fire next to one of the ovens. But she kind of pulls you into the corner and says, "Yeah, so this has been happening lately. I didn't really want to talk about it in front of everyone because it's bad for the image of the tavern. But this is the 3rd time this has happened in the past, month. It's growing concerning, to be honest."
When did it happen? When did it first happen? How long ago?
It's been about once a week. There's not really much of a pattern to it as far as we can tell it. The first
When was
time we
the
just
first
kind
time?
of wrote it off. What?
How long ago was the first time it happened?
About 3 weeks.
Okay. Did anybody join your staff 3 weeks ago or thereabouts?
No, we haven't hired anyone new lately.
Any new supply chain, getting your drinks from somewhere new?
I hadn't thought about that. And she turns and looks. She turns and looks at the cook, who's this guy with a very long, like, brown beard, and he's bald. And she looks at him. She goes, "Have we changed our supplies at all, our supply chain?" And he just goes, "No." And then turns back to. He's got, like, that voice where he talks quietly, but it feels like he's yelling. if you know what I mean. And he goes back to quietly yelling at the two assistants. She kind of shrugs. She says, I don't really track that, but it's apparently not. It's odd. We usually have a lot of traffic this time of year. There's usually a lot of people going back and forth with their harvests and stuff, but I guess the harvest is just coming in a little late this year. We haven't had a lot of traffic recently. But like I said, it's the third time it's happened. We haven't had any customers stay more than a single night either.
All right, walk me through. Take me back to, let's say, 4 weeks ago. Between 3 and 4 weeks ago, walk me through all of the significant events you can remember. Any travelers coming through who stuck in your memory for some reason, or anything strange that happened, or any recent events in the area that were just different enough from the norm that you might remember.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, there was a bar fight. There was a bar fight that week, I remember. And the guys got bloody noses, but it didn't turn out too bad. You know, and so many soldiers passed through here that I couldn't say if there was a specific one that did. We did get this weird spice salesman from somewhere south of Malavik, selling maybe all the way in Ninesby. But he was a weird fella. But he seemed nice enough. We bought a few spices from him. You think they were? Is there something wrong with them?
Well, do you still have the spices you bought from him, and what do you use it for?
Yeah, we still have them. The spice, I don't know. What do we use them for? The guy whose name I forgot. What do we use them for, Marcus? And he goes, wine. We use it to spice the wine sometimes. Tastes pretty good, but it doesn't. I don't know if. Let me get some. And she runs off back into the hallway. You hear a door shut, another door shut, and another door shut as she comes back in. She comes in and she's holding like a small pouch. And she says, "Do you recognize this plant?" And holds up the one of the like sprigs.
Do I recognize this?
You make a nature check. Although actually, I would let you use society for this as well. If you would like.
Pull Alina out of the ground and find her.
If this is just like a plant that a horticulturalist would have known that there's like natural medicinal uses for, it would make sense nature. But if this is like a drug that gets passed around in shady back rooms of high society, then
You would probably know.
I might know about it. So
That would be probably.
Yeah, go ahead and make a society check. It's different kinds of knowledge, kind of like what you were talking about.
An excuse to drink on the job.
that'll be a 19.
19. This looks kind of like a spice that is native to the Ninesby Super Desert. That name is a technical term. I don't know if I've looked at that before. The Super Desert, yeah. Ninesby is the southernmost province of, or duchy rather, of the Empire of Kirith. And this spice is prized. It's very rare. It's very hard to farm because it only grows in places that are like really difficult to get to. So they paid a fair amount, or they probably paid a lot of money for this. But it's only known to have very, very slight. I'm trying to think of what the word is for the effect. It has very slight calming properties if you eat a lot of it. And you know this because there's like a whole culture around it. Like there are places where you can go, like really uppity bars down there, or not bars, but like lounges down there, where they have a lot of the stuff. And it's used to it's kind of like weed in a way. If you think of it, it has that kind of like calming effect where you're like, yeah, man. And everything just seems a little pleasanter. This one is not. You have to have a lot. In order to, you have to ingest a lot of it to have that happen. Probably too much to be able to properly, like if it's in spiced wine, it's not going to be enough to have a strong effect. It would add some tingling, maybe.
Well, I don't think this on its own would produce the effect that we've been seeing. It would have to be combined with some kind of other element that put together created a different effect, or some kind of magic property that might accentuate the natural properties.
Did anyone?
So that's outside my area of expertise.
You know, now that you mention it,
I'm going to assume they have with one.
there was a guy that stole some of it. We tried to get him caught, but the guards were too slow. And all the
Look like-
soldiers were drunk, so he got away.
Any idea what he looked like? got
I
my-
mostly just saw his cloak. He was about this high, and she puts her hand somewhere between the top of your head and the top of her head. You're significantly taller than her. This tall. He's human. He had brown hair, brown beard, with a mustache. He had a scar across his face too, like down his cheek. But other than that, I mean, he looked like the kind of guy that spends a lot of time in the woods, so we just kind of figured he was stealing it to go make his life a little easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably was.
He looked
Scarman.
I remember he looked very angry. He just looked like an angry man.
I've known angry men, and there are a dime a dozen. So,
Yeah.
is anybody out there in the tavern drinking the spiced wine right now?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. She runs out, and you hear her yell to everybody to put the wine down. And then she comes back a couple minutes later, and she goes, "Okay, we're fine." Tobias thought about that. He took all the wine back, and he has been serving them different beverages. So,
Alright, so
Tobias, the other
in the
word.
big universities of the big cities, they have this concept that they teach people. It's called science.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
I have. I sometimes listen to the clerics talk about it when they're passing through.
So there's this idea that if we do what they call an experiment, we can learn something. So what I'd like to do is have somebody drink the wine and remain under supervision and have nobody else touch it and watch to see what happens. Who do you think would volunteer for a thing like that?
Marcus just kind of like the cook, just kind of like materializes behind her with a mug, and you see him drop like a massive chunk of the spice into it. And just, oh,
That'll do it. Alright, Marcus, you and me, we're gonna hang out for a little while. Excellent.
yeah, he just like grunts and
I'm gonna hang it.
starts
Hi.
standing there, and he looks very contemplative. And you wait for a while, and over the next like 10 or 15 minutes, his frown gets a little bit less, turns a little bit toward a smile. You know, he doesn't quite smile, but his beard maybe lifts a little bit, and he just kind of like chills out. He doesn't pass out.
Alright. Well, I suppose we've at least proven that drinking the wine does not always cause the effect. That does not mean necessarily that it's not ultimately responsible for the times that it did.
Yeah,
So he'll sit there and brew for a little bit.
not responsible. Always. And then we're gonna. The camera pans back to Calem and Zharra. You two have been walking for a while, but you can hear some noises from ahead. It sounds like maybe some voice. It's either voices or animals making animal noises. It's hard to tell the difference from this distance. It's kind of echoing down the tunnel. How do you want to proceed? Like, now that there are noises in front of you, how do you want to go? You can also feel a bit of a breeze coming in, indicating that you might be nearing the end.
Let's have the two not stealthy characters.
And trained.
You are trained.
And trained in stealth.
Good for you. I'm also trained. Never
What was
mind. Okay, but I think you're wearing
Yeah.
armor. I have metal
Let's
body and armor. We're both trying. I just realized. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you guys can try to sneak if you want to. Zharra, I will give you a -2 because you have the metal limbs.
Yeah, fair. Fair.
I keep calling her the barkeeper, but technically she was the reception.
The hostess.
The hostess, yeah. Her name is Lily. With one L. I'll be right.
Not gonna bother stealthing since I think they'll be able to see before.
I guess generally speaking, I don't want to like rush ahead. Excuse me. I don't want to like plow ahead without like examining what we're going into first. Is what I kind of mean. I don't mean like specifically stealthy, but kind of just be like, hello. Like maybe not make our presence immediately known, but I might still roll. Well, I have a -2. Dare I try it, or do I? Because it always could turn out poorly where I'm very loud. You're in a dilemma? Oh no, we're not. I'm Marsic.
We're in some intestine.
Yes, you are in an intestine. How did you know?
The Earth's intestine.
Had a sense.
You guys come out, and
I got a 17 on stealth, by the way.
okay, so you're stealthing. Are you stealthing, Calem?
Nope.
Okay. So if you guys want to not be walking right next to each other, then separate yourselves a little bit.
Are we heading to the left or the right?
To the left. So yeah, you guys can see that there is a bit of the last vestiges of sunlight poking into the cave ahead of you. You can hear some noises. Yeah, you guys can hear some voices kind of mumbling to each other. It does clarify as either, like I said, it's either voices or animal noises. But if it is animal noises, then these animals are having a straight up conversation. They're just going back and forth. Almost like if you think of like when huskies talk to each other, that's kind of the impression you get. How they go, but yeah.
Which is what I picture Alina sounded like. She's trying to talk to us in bear form.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you guys go forward. Calem, if you would like to move to the edge of the cave, feel free. As you blink toward the cave's edge. Okay, you guys should be able to see a lot better. You can see as you come out, the noises stop immediately, and you hear like 5 small voices go, and then you hear cluttering of them going like behind the rocks, and you see their faces poke out, and you see these more creatures of the kind that were electrocuted in the cave, and they are all peeking out from behind boulders.
Remind me, with my 15, did we actually figure out what they were?
Oh right, I forgot to tell you the answer to that. Let me think. You don't know specifically what they are, I'll say it this way. You don't know a lot of details, but you have heard of creatures that match the description. They are fairies, and they are called Korred. Korred. They are known to use to have very fine manipulative control over their hair, and can use it basically like fingers. And they can grow it or shrink it pretty much at will.
Nice.
They're also said to have skin of stone. But for the most part, most of the stories about them are just are of them kind of minding their own business until someone comes into their area and starts messing things up. And then usually the Korred in the story will hog tie them, and like put them in an awkward position. Though it depends on who's done
Elf. Or if they're fae of some sort.
They are fairies, yeah. But they're all peeking out. They're all peeking out from behind the boulders. Also, it's a little hard to tell what that is. That's fog in the top left corner, not water.
Oh.
It almost looks like a waterfall. It's fog.
Okay.
It's supposed to be.
Have they spotted us, or have they spotted Calem? Or...
They're staring at you guys, or they're staring at Calem. Zharra, you're still behind the wall. There's just enough wall to hide you.
Mm-hmm.
They are staring at Calem, and they look uncertain. You notice
Calem
one of them.
will.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Calem will wave. Say, hello. Because he's waving with the torch.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
They watch the torch like cats watching a lizard.
Next.
You see those. And then they look back at you, and one of them turns and like looks back behind him, and you can see there's some woods, some forest behind him. And he turns back and looks, and then looks forward, and then one of them kind of steps forward when he sees you not moving. He steps forward a bit and he goes, and by the way, these guys come up to about Calem's, the bottom of his sternum. So they're pretty short, but they're a lot wider than you. Kind of like walks forward. And he goes,
Hello,
I
Gigi.
have no idea what you said. Have you seen a leopard around, or elf? And he'll just kind of pantomime very poorly. He'll just like very just like it's like leopard around for elf. For elf with ears. Have you seen either?
he turns around and makes more animal noises at the others. And they all turn and look at the one that had looked back toward the forest earlier. And he makes animal noises back at them. And then it turns around and goes, why, you ask?
What?
We were following our party member. We have not seen her throughout the caves.
Leopard?
Or an elf. I don't know what form she is in. Maybe a bear?
We have not seen elf or leopard. You should go. It's not safe here for mortals.
What is going on?
Fey business. None of yours. You should leave.
Does the Fey business have to do with making people fall asleep?
Hold on. No, I didn't. You can't say that I didn't. I didn't do it. Okay, I did. But you can't prove it.
Well, we have your word now, so I think I'll go on that.
You call me a liar?
Why did you do that? What?
You call me a liar?
No, I call you quite truthful.
Oh.
Why did you do that? Why did you make everyone fall asleep in the tavern?
I want to be safe. Why do you ask?
Safe.
You should go. It's not safe here for you. They'll take you.
Who will take us?
The ones who are coming. You're not
Who
supposed
is
to be.
coming?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that information.
Ah.
I cannot tell
Did you take someone from the tavern?
Why do you ask?
Because that's why our friend was dove into the tunnels
Move into tunnels.
behind us. She was chasing whoever had stolen someone from the inn.
That's strange. We didn't see anybody.
And you didn't take anyone.
I did not. And he like
Did any in your group take anyone?
I like this guy.
That is not mortal information to know.
I'll take that as a yes.
Zahara's at this point just like deciding whether or not she should make her presence known at this part in the conversation, or if she's like, do I hold back and wait until things get dicier as kind of a surprise? But I'm listening.
Would whatever is coming respect my patron, Gwynmoro?
Gwynmoro is mortal god.
Yes. You're very grammatically fastidious, the Gored.
I study many human, understand human language.
Yes. Gwynmoro is one of the constellations.
Oh, stars. We have no quarrel with stars.
I do not think I am getting my point across. Would they respect the mortal god?
Was that you were asking him, right?
Yeah.
Respect. I do not interfere. It did not interfere with respect. You ask many questions for a mortal.
I think many mortals ask many questions.
Make a perception check, Cal.
Yep. Hey, it wasn't a 15. 21.
21.
Hey.
Okay. You hear two things as there's a brief lull in the conversation. You hear a snore in this direction, but if you like draw a line through yourself and through that ping, that's the direction that you hear the snore in. It sounds fairly far away. You just kind of catch like a and you also see just like a glimpse in the forest behind him, pretty far behind. You can see just this hint of motion, and something metal catches just the very slight glint of the sun, of the setting sun. There's just a brief glimpse of metal glinting as it moves through the bushes or through the trees, but you just catch this very brief.
Calem's going to look towards the snoring.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
From here
move towards the snoring.
You can't really see anything from here. You'd have to go closer.
Okay.
It sounded not like a gigantic thing doing the snoring though. Sounded,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Calem will take like a cautious step forward.
Okay. You do that, and they all step back.
Okay. After that, he'll just take a step to the right
They all
and like kind of
step to the right.
slowly goes so he can see whatever's snoring.
Okay. Yeah, as they realize you're like sneaking over that way, they start to kind of cut you off. They go, "No, you cannot go. They will kill you. It's not safe for mortals." You can feel it.
What is over there?
Fairy business, not mortal business.
At this point, as I'm realizing, sorry, finish with that.
No, go.
All I was saying, at this point, as Calem has like moved kind of out of my eye line, I'm gonna kind of scoot myself over. I'm not gonna pop up behind his shoulder, but essentially, I kind of am like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
I'll sort of sneak behind him a little bit, and like I'm still trying to be hidden, but I'm using Calem as a shield a little bit because I don't necessarily want them to know I'm there yet.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, hello?
Yeah, you kind of lean out and peek. You don't think they've noticed you yet.
I think that since you have made the humans fall asleep, that your fairy business has also become human business.
Make a diplomacy check.
Ah, bugger.
Intimidate. If diplomacy doesn't work, we can also make it intimidation.
15?
15?
16.
16. He hesitates for a long moment at that. You see him kind of thinking it over. He goes, this makes sense to me, but may not make decisions. This is not very, no, this is very business, not mortal business. Rob, what's your perception bonus, by the way? Zharra as well.
9.
9. Oh, hold on. 11. As they're talking, I'm gonna look to the forest kind of to scan and see if I see anything that's like imminently going to pop out.
Okay. You do see, like, there are some animals around. The talking doesn't seem to have bothered. Like, there are a few squirrels, a couple rabbits. They're not like obviously out in the thing, but they're foraging for food as they do for the day right now.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you don't currently see anything. Nothing out of the ordinary.
And there were no other tunnel exits, right?
It's not a path. You're now there is no path. You're just
I
outside.
mean, behind us.
Oh, behind you? Right. It was just the
There's
one.
only one. Okay. So that means Alina has to have come this way. Theoretically.
I mean, that's
But
up to you to decide.
Dematerialized. Yeah. Unless she dematerialized or has the ability to teleport, that she has not informed us. I guess if she turned into a bird, she could fly out here, but I'm gonna whisper to Calem, do you need me to make my presence known?
As you whisper that, they all go, huh, who talks? And he like leans sideways and sees you peeking out from behind the rock. Because you were just hiding behind Calem. There's not like a long cover. And he's, ha! Who is this? You are too.
Hi. I was like, now I'm like, okay, great, they saw me. I'm gonna step out. Oh gosh, what did she say? I'm gonna say something in Dwarven at them.
Okay.
But essentially, what I'm saying in Dwarven is essentially like, I'm his backup. But I don't think they understand me. But I'm trying to be intimidating. As
You say that, and he looks at you, and he kind of tilts his head, and he goes, oh, you speak a real language. Good. Yes, now we can properly talk.
I do the weird thing that owls do, is like, what the heck? It shifted my perspective of life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rob, does Calem speak Dwarvish? Okay, so this just it just has that guttural like Dwarven sound. He seems a lot more fluent in this language, even not knowing the language. Yes, you should really leave. This is a very dangerous place for mortals.
Well, we're used to danger, but at the same time, we don't want to step on anyone's toes. We just want our friend back.
We don't have your friend. We
Have
haven't
you seen
Leather.
anyone come this way?
What?
Have you seen anyone come this way? Aside from anyone that would be in your group?
No one that doesn't belong is here. We've made sure to keep everybody out just like we're supposed to. This is a test. Are you two testing us? This
No.
is very strange. Mortals usually don't converse with us in this manner.
We're not most mortals.
Calum's gonna really know. Like, had you asked about the abducted person?
They said they haven't seen. I'll switch to common, and relay. Like, they haven't seen anybody who hasn't been part of their party, or so they're claiming. Quick question.
Would somebody they've stolen be part of their party?
I'll ask in Dwarven. Have you stolen anyone or anything from the
That's none
human?
of your business.
Say that one more time.
And that's none of your business. And rude. Look, this is the last time we're going to warn you. You need to leave. It's not safe here for you.
I'm gonna look at Calem. I'd be like, what do you want to do, buddy? I don't know.
I don't know what he said.
He's given us the last warning that we should leave. He's said to you many times.
We can't leave
Calem?
Alina out here,
That's what I'm
especially
thinking.
if it's dangerous.
Calem,
Yeah.
you feel. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'll not interrupt. Go ahead. Keep going. Sorry. Go ahead.
That was all I had.
Okay. As you're finishing that sentence, you feel something cold and wet, like brush against your neck.
Calem will put his hand up to it.
You feel? Are you in your armor right now?
I am.
Okay, yeah. You like do that naturally, and something like blurs from one shoulder to the other. It takes you a second to realize it's a squirrel on your shoulder, and you kind of like blink for a second, and then you notice the squirrel has like little teeny flowers woven into its fur.
Calem is going to look at the squirrel and kind of, should we stay here, or points back to, or do we go back into the cave? Calem is going to say, we cannot leave our friend.
I do not like to see mortals perish, but if you insist.
If we are quiet and do not interfere, can we observe what you're doing?
It is not us that do.
Those you serve, though.
That is for you to find out from them. You will not leave. We have done our due. We must go.
Okay.
And you see them one by one. They step into the stone and vanish.
Oh, magic rocks.
Oh, did you guys see her gesturing earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm like this.
Oh, I didn't see you. Or maybe I wasn't looking really at that cauldron.
So as they step into the stone, what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to look in that area where I heard snoring before. See what I see.
Yeah. So you go over and it's a little bit uphill, but as you crest the hill,
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
there's a large stone, and there are all these kind of look like little fireflies floating around in the stone, or not in the stone, around the stone. And other smaller stones are arrayed in a circle around it. And in there, laying tied up by hair and laying in various uncomfortable looking positions, you can see 4 humans. 2 male, 2 female.
Did we? It's a sort of random question. Did we ever see the will-o'-wisps on the other place?
Not up close. You
Okay.
saw them and ran away. Which, I don't blame you.
I was gonna say, does it generically look the same? If we'd kind of seen it, but I guess
These
I
are
don't know.
definitely different.
Okay, they're different.
You get the impression that the universe has limited effects to choose from.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it has to reuse the same graphics.
So it's fine. That's why I was wondering if it was like similar or if it was like different.
Yeah, a good question. I just only have so many graphics.
Calem is going to rack his brain for stories that this happens with. Would he have a background? Would he have any bonus for his background, being from Shajong?
Interesting. That's a good point. If you want, do you have some kind of lore that relates to your history?
No, unfortunately.
Okay. Do you have any lore skills that you're trained in?
Winmarrow in Underworld.
Okay. If you want, you can try to make like a society check, I guess. See if you know any stories.
I make a religion check just to see if I've heard any, I don't know, cautionary tales.
Sure.
Society.
Next 20.
Nice.
You said natural 20?
Yep.
Hey.
What'd you get? What did Calem get?
28.
8. Okay. Give me 1 second.
I was trying to be intimidating to the creatures, and then I was like, I don't know what to say to you because I don't want to really escalate the situation, but I could.
Okay. Zharra, what are you trying to discern? I'll give you.
Essentially,
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What was your question?
I was going to say I'll give you 5 questions because you got an extra one. So
Yeah.
You get 5 questions.
Essentially, I was trying to figure out, would I have known, how do I word this? Would I have I heard of any, like, rituals? I'm thinking particularly, like, rituals of, like, okay, sacrificing 4 people, fairies, like, specifically for the fairies, but, like, kind of religious-based, like, are they working in conjunction with a cult? Kind of like that. That's sort of my aim of my first question. Like, have I heard of a ritual that resembles this?
Gotcha. So, yes and no. So the yes is there are a lot of rituals that involve putting people into a circle and sacrificing them in some manner. Usually, though, it's in 3s or 10s because 3 and 10 are the magic numbers. You have not really studied arcane or occult magic so much, so you don't know why those are the magic numbers. Other than it's said that 3 is a magic number because there are 9 gods. The 10, you're not sure; it's some occult thing that you don't know. You have heard some people say that, like, occult and wizardry, but with divine magic, it tends to be 3s and 9s.
Have any of those stories pointed to or alluded to fairies in particular? Like a sacrifice to the fairies, or I don't know, anything like that?
Most fairies are not going to require, like, blood sacrifice kind of stuff. Fairies, in fact, there are some fairies that are worshipped, but the fairies usually ignore the people worshiping them. So there's not. It's more like any kind of sacrifices would be more just like this one weird person thinks that if he sacrifices something to a fairy, the fairy will do something. Or it would be something to buy the favor of a fairy. If there is a fairy that is accepting some kind of human sacrifice, it would either be in the associated with winter or autumn.
I was gonna ask that question. Does anybody else have any questions they want to whisper to Zharra? I'm thinking, because
You can also save the questions for later if you'd like.
do they have to be specifically religion related?
Related to understanding what's going on in that circle from the basis of religion.
Yes, that's my thought. I'm gonna hold my questions until we observe it a little bit more.
Sounds good.
I'm also gonna relay that there's not much. Essentially, relay the last part that you're kind of talking about how, like, fairies don't usually accept sacrifices. So unless this is like some crazy person who believes the fairies want sacrifices, this is sort of odd. And also, it's a weird number, which Calem would probably know that as well, right? Theoretically.
It's possible.
Okay. I'll explain. Usually it's in
He's less
3 to
magically
10.
trained than you.
The fact that it's 4 is sort of odd.
These two? As far as I know, they're just standing in the open. Are you two just standing there?
Yes.
I'm kind of shielding myself from the forest by the rocks because I'm scared of the forest right now. But
Okay. But Calem is just standing.
Like,
You see Alina waving to you from a rock.
can we see her? Where is she?
bizarre.
Calem wave.
Yeah.
You're
Calem
behind me,
waves
right?
back.
Oh, you're a little. Oh, I'll turn to Calem real fast. Hey, was the squirrel Alina who just talked to you, by the way?
If that or somebody likes decorating the native squirrels.
Yeah, they see you. There's a you
Calem
guys
waves
do
back.
both notice the squirrel doing this.
Calem like slowly starts getting on the ground.
Yeah, I'll kind of follow. I'm also gonna pull my cloak over my horns because I'm very noticeable.
Oh yeah.
Brown cloak, whatever color I have. So I look more rock-like as opposed to bright red.
Each of you make a perception check.
18.
18.
Mhm.
Hold on. So the dice tower has blessed us with 30s tonight. I got
Oh
another
my
30.
goodness.
Nice.
That's so good.
That's awesome. Zharra,
Yes.
you notice you just barely hear a sound of rustling bushes from behind you guys. How would you like to read? Behind you. Probably about like 30 or 40 feet behind you.
Are we concealed enough that theoretically they will not immediately see us?
Not from that
Whatever.
direction. There's just no rocks in that direction.
Okay. I'm gonna nudge Calem and like not shove him, but sort of like go back, right behind the rock. There's something coming. Like I'll pantomime it, so I'm not actually talking, but it's like
Mhm.
not saying anything. But essentially, like get into such a place where we are not immediately visible on the ground.
In the time it takes you to mime that to him, you hear a couple soft footsteps behind you. And you turn and look, and you see a figure clad in entirely green plate armor from head to foot. And the helmet that he's wearing, it completely obscures his face, but the helmet has large antlers coming out of it. And you can see that he's got a sword and a scabbard at his hip. And he steps out with a little bit of a swagger and goes, "Mortal, what are you doing here? Why didn't you listen to the Korets when they told you to leave?" And we're going to fade and pan back over to Marsic.
I'm gonna pray to Bromel Michael and promise I don't.
So Marsic, it's definitely been a few minutes, and it does not look like Marcus is going to be passing out anytime soon.
Cool. Well, I will. Are we still in the kitchen? We just sat down right in the kitchen there. All right.
Unless you wanted to go somewhere else.
I will lean over. I'm presuming Marcus and I have been kind of chatting it up, and we're kind of buddy a little bit here.
Make a diplomacy check. Let's find out. 'Cause he's not usually super talkative, but he does seem a little loosened up from the spice.
All right. It's a 17.
Yeah, you've loosened him up a little bit. He's still not a man of very many words, but
Right.
yeah, he's warming up to you.
I just want to be like, hey, do you mind if I go take a look around the place? I'd just like to figure out what this whole problem is that you've been having, and if I could just take a peek around the place, it might help me find something that maybe other people haven't noticed.
Yeah, go for it. But if you steal anything, I'll boil you alive.
I just be like, do I look like a man who needs to steal anything? I'm
Fair
doing
enough.
fine with it.
Fair enough.
And then
I'll be
I'll,
in here if you need.
I would like to, I guess, start looking around the stores in the kitchen itself and around the room to see if there's anything that goes off anywhere else, or if there's anything that stands out as kind of odd, and just use Marsic's kind of bounty hunter's sense of in sort of like investigation to begin a search for anything out of the ordinary, any culprits.
Yeah. Make a perception check. If you have bounty hunting as a lore, you can use that instead.
I do have bounty hunting as a lore,
Ooh, let's do that.
which makes it a 22.
Nice. So yeah, you give it a thorough look over. And a couple things strike you. The first is that there is no trace of forced entry. No, you ask around a little bit, and nobody in the tavern remembers anything about they barely remember even falling asleep. They don't really remember having a nap. They just feel more energetic, and they remember waking up. None of them were doing anything special, and most of them had gotten there earlier that day. You do like a look around the outside of the building, and you do find a couple. It looks like somebody has planted a few sprigs of that spice at various places around the tavern. It's not something that's easily noticeable. You only noticed it because you were looking for it. But yeah, you do notice in at least 5 spots around the tavern, someone has literally like planted a little sprig of the spice.
All right, I'd like to walk around and pluck them all up.
Okay, you do. There's this weird kind of when you pick up the first one, you get this weird kind of like very, very brief, almost buzzing feeling in your gut, and it's gone in an instant. But it's just this very quick kind of like boom that you feel in your tummy. And then it's gone. It doesn't linger or anything. It almost feels kind of like though Marsic wouldn't know so much about this, but if you imagine like picking up a piece of metal and it feels like there's just a tiny bit of current going through it, it's like that.
I'm going to I'm gonna go back to, I guess, the barmaid and Marcus, and just kind of be like, all right, so no guarantee that we've solved the problem here, but I went around and cleaned up a little bit. There were some oddities around, and I think it should be good. And I'll check back in with you in a little bit. But I'm gonna actually go and look for my friends, because you guys haven't seen them, and I haven't seen them, and it's been a little too long for my comfort.
This is exactly as much as that guy stole.
Oh, well then I think we found the problem.
I counted every leaf. Very expensive. And he like literally just like puts it down in a random spot on the table.
I've got one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you keep here in the tavern that is valuable to the degree that somebody might want to knock you all out of commission so they could come in and steal the very valuables? Apparently the spice here is not valuable enough for them to take off and leave with it if they came back and put it back. So there must be something else that they were after. What kind of thing might that be?
I mean, our spices, I'm gonna be honest with you, the spice cabinet's worth quite a bit. That's why we've got a lock on it. But we've got wine, various alcohols. I'm sure there's money around here somewhere. But we don't have a secret treasure hoard or anything like that, if that's
Mm-hmm.
He starts stirring a pot. There's
Yeah,
nothing in the pot, but he's stirring it.
He's stirring. Can I take a? I'm gonna get out of your hair. I've got other business anyway, but can I take a brief look at your spice cabinet, and then I'll be out of your hair. I don't even want to touch it. You can stand over my shoulder. I just want to see what you've got.
You can tell that entire sentence goes over his head as he reaches and touches his bald head. He goes, out of my hair? I'm out of here.
Oh, sweet.
I'm sorry, my friend. I'm gonna leave
Oh.
after I'm done.
Yeah. Oh, that stuff is strong.
Does it seem like
Okay.
it's different now, like it's finally getting to him, or is this the same way he's been?
This is kind of how he's been for the past 10 minutes or so. You suspect it'll be like this for a while.
Does he agree to go with me to the spice cabinet and take a peek?
Oh yeah. Oh sure, yes. And he pulls out the key and he unlocks it, and then he looks it over for a minute and he goes, "Yeah, it's all here."
Do I notice anything in it that is, based on my knowledge, extraordinarily valuable or strange for them to have?
Nothing strange. There are a few spices that you recognize as being a bit more exotic, like not from this area. Specifically, that they, being someone who's used to a bit more of the upper level of society, you do, you know that some of these spices don't grow around here because it's too cold. So they probably paid a fair hunk of cash for it. But there's nothing particularly abnormal. It does strike you that they don't seem to keep the other spice with these. You suspect they probably have a special lockbox for it or something. But overall, the cabinet itself would be worth quite a bit of money.
Holiday, well, that's good for me. I'll kind of wrap up my conversation with him and kind of shake hands, and Marsic will exit the tavern, and I'm trying to decide. I don't think Marsic's gonna go back to the latrine.
Well, as
To
you
begin.
exit into the main room, you can see the sun is almost set, which is kind of barely peeking over the horizon. And as you're entering, the door kind of like slams open, and there's this short, clad in like a black traveler's robe, or not robe, sorry, traveler's cloak. This short, really pale, scrawny-looking dude who looks in. He looks like he's been walking for days, and he just sighs, and he walks over to Lily, the bartender, or the hostess. He goes, "Hey Lily, can I have a room?" She goes, "Oh, Mozzie, yeah, sure, come on. We've still got your room up there. No one uses it." He goes, "Okay, thanks." He literally, like, they yell that across the room, and you see he stops like at the actual bar and orders a drink. And yeah, that just happens like as you're exiting.
Cool.
Yeah. So you go out, and
Sorry.
where'd you say you were going?
Does Mozzie have a scar across his cheek?
Let me think for a minute.
A large book?
You don't see any books. He's got a backpack, but that's pretty normal for traveling.
You look like an emo child. Sorry, I'm not. I'm not here. I don't see. I'm sorry. I'm metagaming again. I stopped. Anyway.
You're good.
How do you spell Mozzie?
Nazvel?
Five.
Nazvel is the guy we're looking for?
This team?
Yes.
Sorry, can you roll me
Nazvel
a d20?
is his full name?
You can help me personally recall information that Marsic would remember.
Yes.
His memory's better than mine.
Marsic would maybe see this man of bells would fly in his brains.
Would Marsic realize that there's a connection here?
You can tell me. There's definitely, he seems to kind of fit the description on some level. But you can tell me how focused Marsic is on that. But I have no issue with you guys, like, metagaming, for lack of a better term, if it's like, hey, your character would know this, by the way. Like, that's totally.
Me personally, 2 weeks after we've said we're looking for somebody, I will forget what we were out here for.
I know. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's
But it's
fine
like-
to remind you what your character knows.
It's
That's
like
not-
2 hours later, and Marsic is like clearly knows that we're supposed to be doing this.
Yeah. It does. There is something about him. You remember, like, the description that you were given of the guy's apprentice was basically was pretty similar to what you're seeing right now. I think. I don't remember the exact details, but there are definitely similarities, if nothing else.
Okay. Are we supposed to get the guy who's supposed to bring him back? Or?
Dark, angsty young man, black cloak, glum, skinny, Masville, and he's dark hair. Is what the description is.
This guy does have dark hair, yes.
Now, were we looking for the book, or we're looking for him? We're supposed to bring him back.
Him,
Remind me.
but it's sort of up in the air as what we're supposed to do exactly, but he's definitely a necromancer. Or at least necromantically.
BB, the guy. What's his name? BB's head. Big head.
Oh!
What?
Oh my gosh. He really can't see the gnomish companion that we just left hiding in the corner. In the corner? Where is BB?
So where is Burbot right now?
BB is this. He is this mini. Right here. You can't really. He's this one.
Okay.
He is currently cowering behind this candlestick, trying to look like he's not there. He's like squeezed as far as his little barrel body can squeeze into the corner.
All right, I will. I'll kind of do the thing where you're like, you're walking out the door and then you go, turn back in.
Okay. And by the way, I just put you back in here because it sounded like you wanted to do more stuff.
Yeah. I will allow that sudden event to interrupt Marsic's focus.
And it doesn't have to, by the way. I'm not trying to get you to do a specific thing, just so that's clear.
Yeah, no, I don't like the idea of just walking on past the dude.
When you turn around in the door, like you get a few looks from some of the people in the tavern, and they kind of like look at you. They tilt their head a little bit, seeing that you turn, and then they like smile and wave, like, and then they get back to their drinks or food or whatever.
Cool. Well, I'll go plop down at the bar next to. Is he heading up to his room, or did he plop down at the bar?
I forgot to put his token out here. I'll give this guy the creepy token. He's at the bar at the moment. He's this guy sitting at the bar. Yeah, he's sitting at the bar, kind of like slumped over it. See, as you're approaching, he seems to be having. Oh, you can see that. He seems to be having a conversation with the barkeeper.
Cool. Oh, there we go.
I don't understand the vision that's happening right now.
Almost like he's about here.
The spirit of Alina has visited me.
Okay. Yeah, he's talking with
Are you
the guy at the bar.
Like a spy or like something you're
Yes.
eavesdropping right now? Is that what's happening?
I mean, stopping the race to see what you see.
Yeah.
Able to split her consciousness.
All right. Yeah, I'll pop down and I'll let's see. Marsic's a bounty hunter. He has experience with like trying to find people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I was thinking also like you would remember. You're a bounty hunter.
You know, that's a
So-
good point. This definitely matches the description you were given. Your bounty hunter senses are tingling.
Yeah, I'll pop over. I'll pop down at the bar. I'll order a drink.
Okay. Yeah, the
Oh.
bartender gets you whatever it is you order.
Oh, and it's is it Lily? Is that her name?
This one, Lily's the hostess. The barkeeper
Okay.
is Tobias.
Gotcha.
He's the one that like sidled up to you earlier and just like put a drink down in front of you and then left.
Cool.
And,
I'll
yeah, Mozball. Yeah, Mozzie. Yeah, I mean it's not like you guys didn't know anyway. Mozzie, he's chatting with the barkeeper, and the barkeeper is not saying a word. He's just like looking at him and nodding occasionally.
can I just listen in to the conversation at first?
Yeah. So when you sit down, Mozzie does like look over at you, and he kind of mutters something to himself, something about like, monkey man, okay, whatever. And then he goes back to talking about how he's just had a really long and exhausting day. And he's so tired. And he really wasn't going to stop here, but he's been walking so long. And he just, like, is complaining about how much he's been walking, how tired his feet are. And you can see that his cloak is pretty worn, too. And he keeps... You do notice, he keeps, like, he'll say some things, and then he'll kind of look off, kind of, like, look down to the side and, like, say a couple things almost like he's talking to himself. Then he'll, like, mutter a little bit, and then he'll go back to talking to the barkeeper.
Alright, I'll kind of interject sympathetically without, like, conversational specifics, but I'll just be, like, turning and kind of, as one stranger to another, just like, wow, that sounds like you've had a hard day. What's going on?
He, like, squints at you for a second and goes, yeah, it's been a long day. I've been walking, gotta go going over to the city, and it's just such a long trip. And I just want a bath. And yes, I know. But I want a bath. And I want a nice, comfy bed. I haven't slept on a bed in like a week. I'm telling you, man. Living in the wilderness is hard.
What got you going to the city?
Oh, I was just taking care of a few things. It's some tasks I need to complete. It's part of my training. I'm learning a new skill, but it's not sure if I like it, but it is what it is.
Is it?
Well, I was just thinking to myself the other day that I don't have that many skills. I'd like to start learning some new ones. Whatever you're picking up, that sounds pretty interesting. Is that something that I could get to?
Sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm so tired. Say that again.
Do you think you could, is the kind of thing you're learning to do something that I could get into? You know, as a new...
I mean, you could try, but I don't know. No, you're probably not smart enough, to be honest. And the barkeeper reaches over and, like, swats him on the head. He goes, you stop it! Just because No, stop it. No. Anyway, don't do that
Who
again.
you're arguing with there?
Him, obviously, and he points to the barkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I used to intern here a few years ago doesn't mean you can still treat me like I'm an intern, okay? Not in this business.
Has anybody in this city ever seen you?
Seen me?
Have you been to the city before?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Why do
Okay.
you ask? It's a weird question.
Well, I was just wondering. You're really tired, and you want to sleep, and you're exhausted, and it sounds like you're not quite sure if this is really your thing. And I'm looking for something to kind of start up with. So, I was wondering if you just wanted to stay here for a while, and for maybe a little bit of coin, I could go and take care of your training for you. Maybe I could learn something, and then you could have the training all done, not have to lift a finger, and you could just rest.
Make a diplomacy check. Let's see how subtly it's going through.
Oh, Marsic. Our diplomatic man. Diplomatic
21.
21? Yeah, he gives you a long look. He goes, yeah. I don't know. Kind of tempting, to be honest. No, it is. It's tempting, yeah. But, I don't think we'd be able to be honest. I don't think
Well, maybe
monkeys
you
have
give
big
me a
enough
little
brains.
test. Maybe you show me something and give me a little test, see if I can do it.
No, I don't think I should. It's, I'm still learning, and I don't, and he, like, picks up the drink, and he gives it a sip. This is juice! I ordered wine! And the barkeeper sighs, he goes, we're out. Like, you're out of wine? Like, it's complicated. Here, have this. And he gives him some ale. Like, thank you! And he takes a sip. I mean, it's very good. He just holds it.
Excuse me for just 1 minute. I'm gonna walk around the bar and I'm gonna go back into the kitchen.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna walk up to Marcus and I'm gonna be like, could you do me a big favor? Could you please serve Mozzie just as much wine as he wants? And I have a feeling he's a big fan of that spice, so I think you need to give him just about as much of that as you can afford to. He's had a long day, he's really tired, I think he needs a rest. I think he's too hard on himself, honestly. He's gonna work himself to death.
Wait a
You need to
second.
give him a break.
Mozzie's here?
Yeah, he's right out there at the bar.
Weird. I haven't seen him in a while. Why are you taking it? Dude, why are you taking his tab?
You know, it's just one of those things. I've got some compassion in my heart for people. You know, it's just since I was a little boy, can't help it.
If you know what's good for you, get rid of that compassion real fast with him. He will take advantage of that to the ends of the earth, my friend. But,
Well, if you
Sure.
feed him some wine and you let him take a rest, it'll be a little bit of time he won't be taking advantage of anybody, if you know what I mean.
that's a fair point. Okay. Yeah, sure. And he puts the stuff in the wine and mixes it up. Here. Yeah. He left to go do some intern or apprenticeship a while back.
It sounds like he's on his way to continue that right now. Going to the city.
Fair enough, I guess. Anyway. Yeah.
Is there any information about him that you could give me that would help me with
Little piece.
understanding what's up with this guy?
Yeah, he's a little weasel. He's out of work wherever he can. I think Martha, the one who owns the place, she's out today, but she kept him on as a charity case, something about a different purse. But took a long time for us to convince her to get rid of him. Thankfully, he quit just before we were going to fire him, so I didn't have to deal with that tantrum. His little man-child. Yeah, that's about it. He's a brat.
Alright. Well, I won't ask you to put up with him any more than you want to, but a little bit of wine and I'm sure he won't be bothering you too much.
Hey, yeah, here you go. He hands you the wine and he says, feel free to give it to him. I think you'll probably be less suspicious if he gets it from a stranger.
I'll walk out with it.
Bring it
And
up.
I'll, before I get out though, I'll take a cup with the wine in it, and I'll take another one with some juice in the other hand, and I'll kind of pop them both down, and I'll take the juice to myself and start sipping at it.
Okay.
And I'll kind of lean over to Mozzie and just be like, all right, I convinced them to find you some wine. They get it with LPA.
Oh. Thanks. Yeah. And he switches out the drinks. You do notice the barkeep kind of like raise an eyebrow at you and then shrug. Mozzie does not notice that.
Good.
And he sips it. He seems kind of. It's great. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah. And he slowly, like, he drinks it. You get the impression that this is, you can actually see immediately this is affecting him very quickly. Don't think he's ever drank before, and you were given like.
I just give alcohol to somebody underage.
He's not underage, not in this world. In this world, actually in this location, it's pretty common for young people to drink. But you get the impression he hasn't drank before, or at least not in a long time. And this is probably a lot more alcohol than his body knows what to do with. So you can see, like, by the time it gets to the bottom, you're like, oh man, he's gonna be hammered. And he starts like slurring his speech a little bit as he keeps just talking about how hard it is walking around and sleeping in the wilderness. Kind of goes in a loop. But yeah, you can interject at whatever point you'd like.
I think I'll just, at some point when he's kind of dizzy enough, I'll be like, all right, my friend, I think it's about time for you to be done. I think we need to get you to your room. And,
You don't tell me. I'm an adult. I'm not an intern anymore.
I'll see if I can't get him to let me put an arm around my shoulder and hold him and take his backpack in my other hand.
Yeah, make a diplomacy check, or no, make a deception check. And I'm gonna have him roll a perception.
So, you said deception?
Yes.
All right, 21.
21.
Okay.
Yeah, he kind of puts you put his arm around you, and he immediately like puts all of his weight on you, and kind of makes you drag him. He's not very heavy though. And he goes, I'm gonna go to my room. I'm gonna get some sleep. But I need to sleep. You can't make me not. I want to sleep.
You need to sleep, my friend. You're correct. You're absolutely right.
I want a
You're very
bed.
responsible.
I just want a pillow. And then he just kind of like stares off into nowhere as you bring him upstairs. He points out the bedroom that's his. It's like the one at the very end of the hall.
Yeah, I'll help him get down to his room. I'll help him get in there. If nothing interrupts, I'll help him get into his bed. And presumably, kind of pop out with his bag and start kind of rifling through it.
Okay, yeah. He is basically passed out by the time you lay him on the bed. You close the door behind him. Roll a d20 for me.
You did that.
12.
Well, okay. You hear him as you're closing the door. You hear him mumble to himself and then stop, and then mumble to himself again and then stop, and then you hear him like roll over because the bed's really squeaky. And you hear him like roll over, and then you like look back and you see him put the pillow on his face and mumble again, and then roll over, and then he seems fully passed out.
I'm like, is he on the cell right now? Am I about to die?
Marsic breathes for a second.
The door explodes off its hinges and a zombie begins walking out.
Right.
I do want you to make a perception check, though.
Perception. 22.
22. You do notice as you shut the door, there is this like, you do get some chills down your spine just a little bit. Like, it's a sense that you felt this before. The last time you felt it was a time when you were traveling in the wilderness and you were near a wolf's den. And there was a moment where you knew the wolves had spotted you, and you'd almost like feel them watching you, like this instinctive thing. You just feel like you're being watched. But you rifle through the backpack. It's a big backpack. There is a bedroll, and in the center of the bedroll is an enormous black leather bound book. What would you like to do with it?
I will transfer the book, if possible, if it will fit, into my pack.
Yeah, it will.
And put his pack back in his room, and then head back downstairs.
Okay. Do exactly that. As you pick up the book, it does. The book feels weird. Like it gives you weird vibes as you're picking it up. Kind of makes you shiver. And as you pick up the book, the sensation of being watched increases. But then it kind of fades again into the background when you put it in your backpack.
I'll start whistling that tune that I know.
Make a performance check.
Performance. This is my second 12 in a row. Her performance is going to be 21.
You whistle that, and after a moment, the sensation of being watched loses its malicious tinge. You still feel like you're being watched, but it feels less angry, less predatorial, I should say.
Yeah.
You come down the stairs, and the barkeeper kind of looks at you, and like, you asleep?
He was pretty much out before I got him up the stairs. You're gonna want to keep an eye on that one.
Your next round's on the house. Thanks for that.
Appreciate it. I'll be back for that.
And same for your friends too.
Never find us.
Yeah,
Let's
you
take
were fine.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you head to next?
I am going to begin generally investigating the area because they went into a toilet and I figure they gotta come up somewhere.
I think
So I'm
you
gonna
probably
start-
heard us talking about it. Or them talking about
You would have heard them mention it at the time.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be
Looking for
actually,
the
yeah,
exit.
if they mention a tunnel, I guess before I leave the tavern I'm gonna kinda casually just ask somebody, one of the guys that I was talking to before, just about where the tunnel might come out and see if I can get any general leads that might get me going in the right direction.
Yeah, so none of it, like, you ask, you very smoothly ask around. None of them have the slightest idea what you're talking about. They seem very confused why there might be some kind of tunnel. Okay, Lily seems worried. She's like, "Wait, there's a tunnel in the latrine? Are you serious?"
Well, I've heard about a tunnel, and all of my friends went down into the latrine. So either they're stuck right where they were before, or they're along somewhere else. And based on the information, I think there's something there.
Well, we didn't dig it, so if you figure out where it goes, please let us know. I will let.
Alright,
Yeah, I'll let Martha know because she's gonna want to patch that up soon.
That plays just the soundbite of. That plays in my head like all the time.
Secret tunnel. Yeah.
it.
Oh my goodness. So, what is your next course of action?
Rigorous field work. I'm looking for any signs of tunnel without getting near poop.
Okay. Oh yeah, BB absolutely slips out the door behind you, still trying to like. I know. No. Keeps doing that, and then actually, as you leave, and you're kind of like searching the grounds for signs of tunnel. And he goes, "That was a close one."
Why was that a close one? Who was that, and how do you know him?
Oh,
I
he's
got-
bad. He's a bad person. Really mean.
Why is he mean? What makes him mean?
Because he's mean.
What did he do that was mean?
And you see he like. That was close.
That
Where
was
is he now?
close. He's mean, isn't he?
Yes. He's very mean. I don't want him to find me.
I will make sure he doesn't find you.
Oh, interesting.
Yay!
That means the memory
Oh, that
involves him that Brewerbot can't access,
it
which means Rob was onto it something.
Yes, but if he doesn't want to be found, then theoretically he's not controlling him, and he's not trying to spy on us. Does that make sense? Like, because when
Right.
you want to find Brewerbot and be like, all right, you're going to spy on them, now I need the information you have. Does that make sense? Like a recall drone mission. He would want to recall Brewerbot at some point to find the information. But if Brewerbot is like, I don't want to be anywhere near him, either Brewerbot himself is sentient enough to not have that, or he's not. Meswell's not spying on us.
I was thinking that
Nazi
Brewerbot might have, like, the memory of Rizbalat's death
Yes.
is something Brewerbot can't access or he shuts down. That's what we've done before.
Right.
So it suggests that this guy was part of that memory that is locked off that he can't get to.
Yeah.
So he may have a memory of the guy, the apprentice, killing Rizbalat instead of him killing Rizbalat. And that's how he knows he's mean, but he can't access the memory because it's been
Yeah.
locked off.
But I don't think he's spying on us because he didn't even know who Marsic was.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't.
Right, he would have
he's
reacted to
spying
seeing
on
me.
us. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's not spying on us like magically.
Unless it's
But I
like one
do
of those VHS video surveillance things where he's got to get his hands on Brewerbot and then take the head out and then like review the tapes, which is not very useful. No, yeah, Brewerbot and I will just go start doing some field work, and I'll ask Brewerbot. Hey, I'll just be like, hey, there's a tunnel around here somewhere. Is there anything you can do? Like, do you have sonar or any way of like finding where the tunnel might be underground?
You
Or
want to
like
find a
look at
tunnel?
the ground and feel anything, or like how can you help? Can you help me? Is there anything you can do?
I'm good with tunnels. You want me to find a tunnel?
Yes, please.
Do you know where it starts?
I do know where it starts. I'm not going to go into where it starts.
Oh,
I'll go back there. I'm not going to go in there. You can go in there, but then I'm going to lose you, and then I won't know where the tunnel is. So there's a conundrum.
oh, I think I understand. Is it the place with all the contaminants in the air?
Contaminants. That's it. Yes, they contaminate greatly. I don't want to be contaminated.
That is wise. Contamination is not good for biological organisms.
It is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, getting contaminated is no good.
Yes.
You're the kind of guy, BB. I think we understand one another.
And he like waddles over to the latrine and he leans onto the ground outside, or he like sits with his barrel body on the ground outside, and you see him very slightly like vibrate his entire body and then stop. He goes, it goes that way, and then
All right.
he starts following the tunnel, and he seems to have some kind of sonar thing. It occurs to you as he's doing that he doesn't actually have eyes, being a barrel that is a robot. he literally doesn't have eyes, and so he probably uses sonar or something to see.
Tough butt.
Yeah. Yeah, you and Brewerbot head off to the other side of the tavern and start following the tunnel. That's where we're gonna end it for the night because it's late.
Everybody prepare to die next session.
Definitely gonna get interesting.